What's up, everybody? It's Peacock Ref Jimmy Deacon, and once again, I'm back here, and I'm drinking at Moe's.
Oh, yeah.
This is Drinkin at Moe's, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's also mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkin at Moe's, where we don't quit. Drinkin at Moe's, that's where it's at. Like a power bomb, we hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, always a scream.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkin' at Moe's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts, they got hoodies, they got beanies, they got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're filling out your order, use the code Drinkin' at Moe's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go. All right, everybody. Welcome to Drinkin' at Moe's. Big Mo here. You know the drill. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, because YouTube's algorithm is still a pain in the ass. I'm excited to have with me once again, back for another round, Peacock Ref himself, Jimmy Deacon. How you doing?
It's been a day, but I'm doing good now.
All right. I know how that goes. I mean, with this little one on the way.
Congrats, by the way, once again, my man.
Thank you. Yeah,
it's how hectic it is.
Oh, God. So my wife's having to be high risk, so there's like a separate doctor, and so she has to go for ultrasounds every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, you have one, and then you're able to breathe easy for about a week.
And it's like, all right, now we got to go back.
Week,
fuck off.
Oh, yeah. That entire week leading up to the next one, you're just like, oh, fuck. Come on. Damn it. Come on. Oh, especially if I'm able to be there when it starts. It's like,
imagine.
I'm like sitting there, and I just want to scream, say something. But yeah, so far so good.
I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, yes. But funny thing before we get going into some of the stuff that you've been up to since the last time you stopped by, I was putting my notes together, and I'm like, okay, let me check on something. And I go and I just Google Peacock Ref Jimmy Deacon, and you want to know what comes up.
I'm scared.
you're gonna get a laugh, because one, normal, it's like the social media stuff, and then it's about 5 different YouTube and audio platforms for our last episode.
Really?
Including one that's apparently from Australia, because it said Australian podcasts.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I saw that and like, oh my God. Okay. I'm like, okay, I have to put that in my notes because I got to tell them about this.
That's wild.
Yeah. But like I said, you've been all over the place, not just H2O. I think, what was it? What has it been? A couple weeks now? Because
yeah,
King of the Kill was the same weekend that I made my commentary debut, and I actually the Friday of that weekend, not knowing or not, I guess realizing that because I hadn't seen any posts about Eric Dillinger being there, I I'm like sending him the link that I do, and then he's like, "Oh man, can I have a little bit more time? My match hasn't happened yet." And I'm like,
What do you mean
looking,
you're back up?
and I'm like, "Wait." So I look, I'm like, "Yeah, shit, fine." And then I look, I'm like, "Oh my god, that's on IWTV. I'm gonna go watch." And then lo and behold, B Boy was his opponent, and I
That was
I
that
met
that was such
him.
a great match to watch.
Oh god, yeah. I was watching
I
it as
love
it
B
was
Boy.
happening, like literally right before I talked to him. That's a first. Damn near 300 episodes, and I thought I didn't have too many firsts left. That was one, and it happened. And B Boy, I met him a bunch when I was stationed in San Diego, and I actually have this will come out later, but I actually have a clip from when we were about to sign off from that episode where I didn't realize it, but apparently B Boy was walking by, and Eric's like, "Hey, yeah, man, we're signing off," and then pulls him in, and I'm like, "Whoa!" And he actually remembered me, so I was like, "Okay, this feels cool."
That's the best. B Boy, we were talking in the back, and then he came. He was like, "We've met before, right?" I went, "Yeah." My buddy and I, we had picked you up for a show. We was talking about Louie, Low Life Louie. Went, "Oh yeah, I remember you, man. How you been?"
Oh yeah, it took him a second, but then he was like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh, dude, okay, man." There's some of those things that I guess me being my own worst critic, I don't know if I'll ever get used to stuff like that, but it's still a cool feeling every time it
Oh, it's
happens.
the best.
Like, oh,
It can either tickle the ego or humble you, and sometimes it does both.
oh, sometimes both at the same damn time. Because I remember going to Revolver, and I took my friend that does the My Two Cents stuff with me, his first ever Revolver show. And I'd been there a handful of times. I've had people from there on, and talking about, "Oh yeah, no, so and so is going to be there." I've chatted it up with him, and all that, and then all of a sudden he tells me afterwards, because they're all a bunch of them were coming up to me, recognize me from
Yeah, yeah, that's
either
all.
having them on or whatever. And my friend told me afterwards that he's like, you know, you never know when somebody's telling you stuff like that, like how true it actually is.
Yeah, like how real it is until you see it.
And then he's like, "You know what? Yeah, you weren't fucking kidding." I'm like, "Yeah, I told you." But man, what was King of the Kill weekend like for you? Because I mean, like I said, I've been able to, funny enough, talk with somebody after they had their match that weekend. But what was your experience like
Oh,
there? Because it
so
looked like a lot of fun.
so my week for that started on Thursday at H2O for Intergender Bonanza.
Mm.
Um, After the show, I went to my good buddy Joe Beisler's with him and his son. Met up for the carpool,
Mm-hmm.
and around like midnight, we made our way up to Michigan. Friday, we get to Michigan. We get to the campground. I see Schwartzy, I see Randy, mom, and dad, everybody. We're all there. About 10 minutes after we park, Tremont and Chrissy pull up right next to us with Sully and the impeccable John Hammer. So for those first like couple hours, we're just shooting the shit, helping out when we can, where we can, what we need. I go with my one buddy to go pick up brooms and get him some gloves and all that jazz. Flophouse was my first time. Can't thank Schwartzy and Randy enough for, like they said, he's a good kid, even though if you wanted to sometimes. They gave me an opportunity. Again, I'm sorry for being an idiot and not realizing what time we were leaving and not seeing PM instead of AM and making you think you didn't have a ref. Sorry again, Schwartzy. We got there by like 1 p.m. Not 1 a.m. The show was fun until Vendetta threw me into the wreckage of Darren McCarty's penalty box. It was a great night up until that moment. Everybody was having fun. The fans were having fun. That was the most important part. You could feel the entire vibe and the aura of that campground from start to finish was just good.
Oh yeah.
We managed to find an incredible quality inn, just for a room for us. For some of us camped, others wanted to shower in a bed. Less than $100 for a night, and we checked in early for like 20. I was like, y'all got to send everybody here. They had continental breakfast. They had a hot tub and a pool, open till midnight. So we rest up, and then the show I've been waiting for since April, since Mania, King of the fucking Kill. First off, Kohlenberg. I said it so many times that weekend. I'm gonna keep saying it until, probably till the day I die. I'm forever indebted and grateful for the opportunities you've given me, for the chance you took on me at my asthma to be in the ring with those crazy ass stipulations with those crazy ass motherfuckers I call friends and coworkers, and allowing me to continue to come into your ring, especially when I'm still very green in this world. I won't have my year anniversary till next month. So the fact that you trusted me in your ring 3 times now, including your deathmatch tournament, from you are why Midwest is my home away from home. And that being said, that was one of the most insane shows I have ever been a part of. Just from how amazing everyone in the locker room was, to again the fans, to the environment, to the vibe, and then just the bloodshed and the carnage. Judge Joe Dredd proved, I say, beyond a shadow of a doubt, whether you love him or you hate him, he fucking deserves to be here.
Oh yeah.
Went toe to toe with Schlack at the end of the night for the right to face Tommy, and he gave it his all every single round. Schlack and Tremont, you're both crazy. I love them both. You're both crazy for what we're doing in November, but I can't wait to see it. And I get into the ring, and it's just I always take a moment, whether even if it's at H2O, that first time getting in the ring, I take my time, wipe, get it, and I just look around and let everything sink in. And because I get emotional when the wind changes direction, I got very teary-eyed for my first match in the tournament, which was it was Tremont Otis. I don't remember which one happened first. Everybody killed it. Everybody gave 150% and then some. Truly embodying the name King, wanting to be king of the kill. They went out there trying to attempt murder, and in some cases, I think if there was not a referee or bystanders, murder would have been committed multiple times.
Probably, yeah. Probably. And you bring up Judge Joe Dredd. I have been a fan of him for a while. I've said it before. I gravitate towards those intense personalities, especially in the ring. And good Lord, you see one of his damn promos.
It's a whole other ball game. They're him and Jury. Their promos. Whether you even if you hated them, even if I hated them, I still see myself being unable to not watch one if it popped up on my screen.
Oh, same.
It's
Same.
they have a way of captivation
Yeah.
when they want to get something across to the world that
Oh, yeah.
that makes you want to listen to them, whether you think they're the best in the world or if you think they're fucking dickheads.
Yep. And I have to admit, every single one that I've ever seen, it's like, oh my God, okay. I might not have had an idea of what was going on beforehand, but now it's like, holy shit, I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Yep. And much like I showed you the video of mentioning my commentary debut, man. When you were talking about first getting in the ring there, it's like that was kind of where I was at that little bit, because I remember telling my wife like that Friday that I'm like, man, these butterflies are really getting going right now.
Yep.
And she's like, why? And I'm like, okay, I realized that the in-ring, wrestler side probably wasn't going to be for me with, back injury and all that bullshit. So then I was like, you know what? I thought after the podcast, hell, maybe some ring announcing, maybe commentary. And then somebody gave me that shot. And then
Take it and run.
It gets there. And then you're like, holy shit, this is actually happening.
Yeah.
And then you're waiting in the back. And then all of a sudden, you're getting an entrance and everything. All of a sudden your music hits and you're like, holy crap, they're announcing me first. Holy shit. And then I'll admit, my first time, I probably had a little bit of stage fright, because I didn't think when I was walking out there that it was going to take that short amount of time to walk to where I was going to do this part. But then it did. So then I'm like, shit, okay, I got this part of the song. And then I'm like, okay, I'll just
do this and that.
And then, because I had asked my friend that was running it, man, I have this idea, because me being the Stone Cold fan I am, I'm like, I've always wanted to do that thing with the beers. And
do it.
I'm like, oh my God. And then he's like, yeah, you can do that. And I'm like, you do not tell a Stone Cold fan that you're going to give him an entrance fan at a wrestling show.
Yeah.
And tell him that he can do that, and then take it back. Because like I literally went and bought a 6-pack on the way there just for that. Oh man, talk about living out a dream. And then like, I think I told you, I've got the bug now. I'm like, I just want to do it more.
Yeah, you got the itch.
Though that I definitely do.
I gotta say, being able to watch the itch take over somebody is probably one of my favorite fucking things. So I'm gonna be real, because I remember how when I was like, yeah, this is my dream again. I want to follow it, and I'd talk to other wrestlers, and I would talk to my friends, like at shows at their merch sale, and I remember how they look at me when they realized that like the fire was there, like it wasn't just bullshit.
Yeah.
And getting to see that happen in somebody else, like be it you talking over a fucking podcast or someone in person, it's such a cool thing. It's so cool.
It's something else.
It's just
man.
a thing when you see it.
Oh
There's
yeah,
no replicating it.
Oh yeah, when you see it, and when you're feeling it for yourself. That moment that bug just gets in there, because the first main event I ever got a call, being one half of it being cheeseburger, and I'm like, I remember talking with him after, and I'm telling him about how my friend asked me being a part of it, and then he told me that you were going to be there. I'm like, okay, yes, I definitely got to be a part of this now. And then now I got his contact info, and we're just trying to, once I actually get some time, nailing down a date to actually have him on.
Fuck yeah. Great dude.
So I'm like, oh man, total pleasure to work with. Like, holy crap.
Oh, absolutely. I haven't worked a show with him, but I've been to shows he's been on, and I've seen him. He seems like, and he holds himself as a very good person.
Oh, most definitely. And I I love getting to talk about different parts, but we got to talk more about you. But I'll end off talking about my commentary debut with I ended up slipping a few jokes in there because I was like, okay, I'm going to be the Pat McAfee of the group. And well, one third had to leave the table for a little bit because he was running the show. And then there's some announcements made for the second show, which I'm also going to be a part of.
Fuck yeah.
And then one of the other commentary partners, he was talking about, it being, sounding like the show number 2 is going to be a solid show. And I couldn't help myself. I said, yeah, because nobody likes a runny number 2. And he was laughing so hard that he had to stop and cover the microphone. And I'm like, God damn it.
Oh,
and then God. I slipped in a your mom joke because somebody said something about, oh, you know who else is good at whatever it was? I'm like, your mom. Oh my God. I had too much damn fun. So I'm looking forward to this next one. It's actually the day before Veterans Day. So I'm like,
that's perfect.
Okay. I already got the next day off, so yeah, let's have some damn fun. All right. So I also, as of recording this, we've talked some about H2O. We've talked about your time with the King of the Kill, but as of this recording, H2O has got tomorrow a pretty damn big show coming up.
That's one way of putting it.
Hustlemania, and featuring a Cage of Hell match, which if anybody hasn't seen that Cage of Hell match from last year, you go back and watch that and find out what you're going to be in store for.
Go back and watch it and then buckle the fuck up. I don't even know what they have in store. I just know it's got a second verse, same as the first. It's gonna be violent.
Just knowing all the people involved in the match.
It's gonna be violent and it's gonna be creative.
Oh God, I can only imagine. And I guess the episode I released Monday with coincidentally, one of the participants in the match, although he probably knew at the time, I didn't, that he was going to be in the match. But President Edward Hawkins.
Oh, God, that guy.
Yeah. Definitely confident. Hey, he was nice for the podcast, but, anybody that's seen.
That's that campaigning.
That true.
He's campaigning you, man.
He's campaigning me. Damn it, I got fooled. But man, when you watch anybody that you watch H2O and you see the stuff that himself and those now the heads of state have pulled, yeah, that. I mean, at least
just a bit too much.
Yeah, it's gonna be something. Because they're gonna try to pull their tricks, but then you have people in there like Tremont and everything. Which, I mean, good Lord, love the dude. He's still bucket list to get on this damn show. Like with the amount of people from H2O that I've had on, which I've pretty much lost track at this point of who I haven't had on. I think there's a couple I can remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I've had so damn many, which I'm always forever grateful for, because I guess me, again, being my own worst critic, thinking, back to starting this podcast and be like, man, I'm gonna run out of people.
I don't know what
Okay, I got to start putting myself out there, and then me being remembering how I was back, like before the Navy, back in high school, and all that, to where it's like, you tell me back then that I'd be doing anything like what I'm doing right now here with you, doing the commentary. I think you were full of shit. And then here I am now, and yeah. But man, there's a whole solid other little bits of the card here. I know, isn't
We're
just
opening,
about every title on the line?
So we got Bam and Neil, first time ever for the Danny Havoc Hardcore title.
I was going to say it looked like. I know the hybrid title.
It's all of them, or it's all -1. I just can't recall, because my biggest concern is, as announced, we're opening WrestleMania with the fucking Psycho Circus death match between Shondo and Alex Stretch. The scaffolding has been bought. The Caribbean web has been or is currently being built, according to Shondo, as of this time. I was not around in the scene as a fan, nor have I seen yet the first Psycho Circus death match in its full.
I gotta go watch
something I'm probably going to do after this, just so I know what the hell to expect when we go live on IWTV.
Yep, I'm definitely gonna have to be doing that. Probably when I get off the recording here, I'm probably gonna be going and watching my team playing in Brazil, which I still
lose in Brazil.
Meh. Fucker. But no, man, it's gonna be a good one.
I think it's gonna be like 31-28. I think there's gonna everyone's scoring at least 2 tutties every half.
And my whole thing.
Also, I will say this: go Pack, go! I got Jordan Love on my fantasy team.
I wanted to get in a fantasy league, but for some reason it didn't fucking happen. Anyways, but man, the whole thing in Brazil, I'm like, holy shit, they're literally telling them not to leave their fucking hotel.
I have been so bitchy at my job when my regulars are talking about this. I hate that this is in fucking Brazil, and you can only watch it on. It's only on. Funny enough, Peacock.
I forgot about that. But
more than Apple TV Philly games. Because they do that dumb shit every now and then too. We'll have a Philly series. You can't watch it on regular TV. It's only on Apple TV. And I'm like, well, now I got to find out who the fuck has an Apple TV that I know.
Yeah, I don't know many, if any.
Luckily, my mother does. So
luckily, I got Peacock.
I haven't missed much.
Yeah, good Lord, me with my favorite baseball team, it's hard enough trying to find channels that have those games. Me being a Padres, me being a Padres guy, it's like, okay, luckily I can be like, there with YouTube TV. Sometimes I get lucky, but then usually, unless it's like Dodgers or somebody, I'm not catching too many.
I found the other day, because I'm a degenerate gambler with my friends, and we have a degenerate gambling group chat, trying to watch games that we bet on. I'll send you a link to it. It's a website that free streams every baseball game when they go on. Literally, it has a drop down. You can choose what game you want to watch, and like it's not live. Like it's like probably it can be anywhere from like 20 to 30 seconds behind. But if you're not watching on a TV, you don't know that.
Yeah.
and it's the full games. They do a little cutaway for commercials. They go. It's perfect. I've watched many a bet slip be ruined on that website.
Yeah, I'm lucky I'm not too much of a sports gambler anyways. I used
Baseball's awful.
Yeah.
We're at the my entire chat is at the point that like we're making our last baseball bets today because we're sick of it. We're going straight to football.
Yeah, and hell, even football, there's been so much injury news coming out and different shit that it's like sometimes hard for me to keep track.
All I know is I hate this kickoff bullshit. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. He's killing the league.
Anyways,
yeah, let's not start an anti-NFL tirade.
Yeah, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. But anyways, you know what? Why not? We'll go back to H2O because literally they got like a good solid like pretty much the rest of the year amount of shows.
It's insane. It's insane what we got going on.
Oh yeah. Like I think UK versus H2O is coming up pretty soon. I think
October 6th and that October 4th, Rise Underground comes to the United States for the first time. The next day is the first show back of ICW No Holds Barred.
Oh, yeah,
and then we have that. H2O versus UK all in the same week.
That is
go to Chattanooga at the end of the month.
Ooh.
Death match and chat. We got the second concrete canvas death match in North American history, November 16th, between the Manimal Schlack, well, King Schlack, and the Bulldozer Matt Tremont.
I gotta watch that one. I gotta watch
that one. That one I have seen.
You know what? I haven't. I need to go watch it.
I'm gonna be real. I'm in the locker room, watching that second round match for King, with the incomparable Joe Coley, refereeing. Great, the gentleman ref, greatest mustache I've ever seen. That's not on Bam Sullivan's face.
Bam Sullivan's got an epic one.
Based out of Wisconsin, I believe. He came in, he stepped up, he helped out. An absolute joy. But I'm watching the match, and the pin happens, and I stand by it. I think that was the best reaction from crowd to commentary of that entire tournament was just their match. And then Tremont gets the microphone, and the first things he says, like, "Hey, Schlack, I see you like playing with cinder blocks," and something in my head knew exactly where he was going with this, and I'm just like, Matt, no, you're living a good life, man. We don't gotta do this again. Please put the mic down, please. And concrete cam. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was like, Matt, no, you've had a good life. Don't do it. Stop talking. No, we don't. I love you. Don't, please. Remember, leave the memories alone. Yeah. We don't got to do this. But God. At the same time, I'm like, we're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. And those two going up against each other in that sort of match.
Oh.
Like, my body's already hurting just thinking about it. Like, oh God, you think of Schlack, and you're just like, any normal person would be hoping that they remembered to bring an extra set of underpants because any normal person would be practically shitting themselves having to freaking be across the ring from a guy that comes out as intense as that guy. And then you got somebody as renowned as Matt
prolific
Tremont is. It's like
as hardened and as prolific as Tremont going across the ring from someone that if you turned into a back alley and saw him,
You
You
turn
would
the
shit
other way.
your pants immediately and go the other way as fast as you could. The manimal
Yeah.
Schlack. I said this earlier in the week to someone, I forget who. It's Schlack is the only person that I know that you can describe their match as a car wreck, and that means something good because it's just fast paced, utter fucking violence that doesn't stop. I saw
Oh,
someone describe him and Jeff King as a classic car wreck, and like vintage Schlack, incredible opener, and I'm like, he really is the only one you can describe a match like that, and everyone agrees silently. Oh yeah, that was a banger.
oh God, yeah, yep. Oh, totally. It's just, oh man, I've seen like, oh God, I just seeing images in my head of past matches of his I've seen, and then like, good Lord, you just see the image, the match image promo where like most of the time he's got this crazed look on his face with just
Yep.
blood dripping everywhere, and you're like, okay, I already know some crazy shit's gonna happen with that guy. So like,
There's a photo I have, or I don't know if I forget if I took it. I smoked a lot of weed after those shows. I don't remember if I took it or if someone else took it and posted it, but there's a photo of Schlack after King of the Kill, or it might have. It was either after. It was definitely before his final. So like going after his match with Tremont, it had to be with the sunlight. I look at it, and it uncanny valleys me. Like I'm looking, I was like, Schlack doesn't look like he's fucking real in this photo, and I've never had a real human being give me uncanny valley vibes than in this one photo. And if you don't know, if you're not familiar with Schlack, I feel like what I just said is the perfect way to make you understand everything there is to know about him.
yep. And hell, I've mentioned it before with other people, like the guys I guess formerly known as the Second Gear Crew. Like you, the first time I had you on, we talked about craziest in match moments, and I literally think those guys, along with Schlack, pretty much all you got to do is just say match them,
And
crazy.
people already know.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Oh, it's totally insane. And goddamn, the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, goddamn, I need to like mark it on my calendar or something. So, all right. So I mentioned a little bit, Matt Tremont still being on my bucket list of people that I want to have on. I've been lucky enough to have a bunch of the people that, through starting that I thought, what, man, it'd be cool to have so-and-so on, and lo and behold,
so-and-so's here.
Yep, like Billy Starks was one of them, like before AEW. God, okay, I love AEW, but god damn, their media people are a pain in the ass to get a hold of. But man, I've had former Ring of Honor 6-man tag champ Dutch on, and it was like, holy shit. And I don't know, did I tell you the last time you were on that when I posted about having recorded with him the story of how I ended up getting a like from Bray Wyatt of all people?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that how I about dropped my damn phone.
That sounds familiar to me.
Yeah,
and that's crazy.
And like I reached out to him. I'm like, "Are you friends with?" He's like, "Oh, yeah." I'm like, that explains so much right now.
All right. Okay. Those dots are connecting now.
Yeah, those dots connected right there. And when Bray passed, I actually reached out to Dutch again. I'm like, I don't know if you're even going to be up to responding. I'm just letting you know, hey, I'm thinking about you. And he actually responded. But the thing, one, before I go into another bucket list item that I actually have. I don't believe I told you about this thing though. With my son on the way, I actually had this idea. It actually involves Bray Wyatt. I found this plush that looked like a cartoonish version of the last run of Bray Wyatt.
All right.
And I'm like, a light bulb went off. I'm like, okay, whenever he comes, I either take a picture of my son with the plush or me with my son with the plush and then caption it, "Welcome to the world, little Firefly," and then tag JoJo and Bo and hell, any of the other Wyatt sticks in there. Is I'm like, the plush is literally already in what's going to be his room. I'm like, light bulb went off. I went on to Amazon, boom, and bought it.
I love that.
I'm like, yep, it's happening. So, bucket list item before I get onto too big of a tangent here, because the Lord knows that happens with me. So, I think I mentioned with you before about, now having actually made my commentary debut, I've got a bucket list of places I want to work. And, mentioned about, maybe one day getting on and doing commentary on a show you're going to be reffing at. Well, hell, one of the places that's on my bucket list to do commentary for is definitely H2O.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that as well before you got the opportunity.
Oh yeah, it's still there
to be in to do commentary at.
Yeah, yep, it's still there, even more so now after making that debut. I even remembered I had actually messaged the big man himself, Tremont. I'm like, I don't want to take anybody's spot, but if something opens up and you got enough notice, I can bring people.
It's always the way to be.
We'll see, because like I said, anywhere even closer to me, I'm like, I don't want to take anybody's spot, but if something opens up, shit, let me know.
That's how I was with Kohlenberg. So there was, because a couple days before that weekend, we one of the refs had to drop off, so he's posting about we need a second ref. I'm sharing it, and I decided, well, I know he's stressing. Let me take some other shit. So I told him, hey, boss, if it comes down to it, let me take some stress off of you. I have no issue doing the entire show. If we absolutely cannot get a second, don't stress about asking me. I'll be happy to do it if it helps out. Now, luckily, because at one point I'm like, no one ever wants to do an entire show most of the time, but again, I think it would have been, it would have been an experience. But at the same time, I'm like, I'd love to have another guy. And then he got Joe Coley, who was absolutely incredible, great dude, took care of everybody, has great energy in the locker room. When I see shit like that, I try to if I'm involved, I try to allay any extra stress. So I'm just like, if we can't find another ref in time, because I reached out to two friends of mine that I made when I was in Chicago for RP Dub, and they both were booked on that day.
Gotcha.
And then we found another ref, and then he got COVID.
No.
And Joe stepped up and stepped in, and the gentleman ref crushed it. And I was telling him I'd love to fucking get up to that part of the Midwest, because I believe, he said he's Wisconsin area.
Okay.
Well, love to get into his territory, see his promotions and see him do what he does at home.
That would be cool.
But it's now you never want to stress or try to take a spot. The respectful way or fear allaying is always the good way to go. Don't want to take a spot, not asking for a spot. Just want to let you know if you ever need somebody and you think of me, I'd be willing to.
Yep.
It's a respectful way to make your intentions known and get a foot in the door.
Oh yeah,
and it goes a lot. Shit like that, like respectful means and communication go a long way. In all facets of life.
Oh, most definitely, yeah. All facets. That words are hard. Facets. I got it. Yeah, I don't want to make my brain hurt. But anyways, the other one, was actually there with you, King of the Kill weekend. Another guy that, actually we talked about King of the Kill when I actually had him on, which it's still okay. When people actually ask me about coming on, like they actually
it's a whole other animal.
message my show, and it's like, oh, you like, I mean,
know me already.
Yeah,
with like Peacock already.
Yeah, when Peacock wrote about have talking, what I believe one of the main shows they were wanting to promote was that Chicago show you were bringing up. Yep. And we talked about that. We talked about King of the Kill. And then I remember after I made my commentary debut, I was like, I messaged him. And I'm like, because you know what? Actually, it was him posting about some of the shows that he had coming up. I'm like, hell, maybe someday you'll see me and him on commentary together. And it's like, one way or another, we're making that happen. I'm like,
Peapod's a great dude and an even greater commentator. I truly, 2 shows now I've watched back of Ron and Peapod. Let me tell you how fucking good they are. It took a couple days for King of the Kill to go video on demand.
Yeah.
So the only thing we have people talking about when people watch it live. The thing I saw most of people talking and reminiscing about King of the Kill while waiting for the VOD wasn't the wrestling, though it was a lot of it. They were saying this was probably some of the best commentary they had ever fucking listened to. And that we had to watch it just for the commentary of Ron and Peapod. And that I told him, I was like, I want you to know, word on the street is you guys fucking killed it and are a main reason to watch it outside of the wrestling. And I finally, first thing I did, I don't like watching myself back, whether it's in theater or in wrestling.
Me either.
I don't like watching myself on a stage or in a ring. This is the first show I watched back in full. And wasn't because of me. It was because I wanted to listen to the commentary. And holy shit, the way they elevated that entire show. It is few and far between where you can feel a chemistry like that on the other side of a screen.
Oh, yeah.
And then have just 2 guys with 2 different brains and 2 different minds be on the same page like that and elevate everything to 11.
Most
truly definitely. One of the best shows I've ever watched back.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Ron and shout the fuck out of Peapod.
Oh, most definitely. I'm actually having him on again because my brother-in-law got me into Magic the Gathering.
Oh, let's go, baby. I was so pissed I forgot my decks. Oh, my God.
I got 2 of them that I built right here.
We're going to talk about that off screen because this will become a Magic the Gathering podcast so fucking fast. We'll talk about that after.
So, man, the time, this next time that I'm having Peapod on, that's mainly what we're talking about. Because I'll admit, I'm a complete newbie, but man, am I having fun. I got into a lot of, it was right around the time the Assassin's Creed set came out.
That got my one buddy into Magic because he's
same
fan of Assassins.
But then I got real big into the Bloomborough set, and I got one of the decks in here is a bunch of otters and frogs. The other one's rabbit and mice, and I actually got one card on the way from Card Kingdom This the Planeswalker Otter from the Bloomburrow
Oh,
set. That was
wow.
like, that's the only one left for that the Otter and Frog deck that like I have to have
You
that
need
in there. And
Raul's
then
hair.
it's literally on. It should be here tonight.
Yeah. So Bloomburrow, it was a really good set. It was very fun. I like the idea that when other people go to that plane, they are turned into an animal. So Raul is from another place from Ravnica, and he's like the head of the Red Blue Guild.
Mm. Is it?
But yeah, is it? But then when they showcased that he was an otter, I got upset because the last otter that Magic the Gathering released, they fucking banned within a week because Lutri was way too fucking broken, and so they had to emergency ban him, and I never got to play the otter boy. So I see Ral as an otter, and I'm like, give my boy justice. Come on. He doesn't deserve this. Unban Lutri.
No, God. But my favorite deck out of the 4 that I've built is filled with a whole shitload of Death Touch. Like, I got all sorts of stuff. Like, I almost won a game at a game store near me because one Death Touch that I had, I actually have the colossification in there, and I just
yeah. So you're playing green black.
Yep.
Yeah. You got oh my fucking Colossific. That's like +10/+10, ain't it?
20.
Oh yeah, there it is. I haven't seen that card in a long time.
I pulled that out of Bloomburrow.
It got reprinted?
It's the big ass cap.
Oh my god, they fucking reprinted it.
And I got Rotten Mouth Viper out of a Bloomburrow play booster, like the fancy ass freaking art version of it.
Oh yeah, the alt arts.
Yeah, freaking awesome. But yeah, we can probably go on and on about that. Well, you know what? Hell, and even more reason to have you on for a third time. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. So you know what? To kind of cap off the show, to cap off this round, we mentioned H2O's got one hell of a calendar for the rest of the year.
Oh boy.
What is a show in particular, if any, that you can pick that you're like particularly psyched about? Because there's a lot.
So if I don't, so I'm going to exclude, home turf bias because I'm always hyped for every H2O show.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
I always know we're gonna do some crazy shit's gonna happen. It's gonna be a fun time, and we have one of the best fucking local crowds in the entire wrestling scene.
Oh yeah, it's on my bucket list to just attend a show there.
But all right, excluding H2O shows because it'd be unfair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fucking easy answer. Now I think about it. Ruthless Pro Wrestling Malignant, November 23rd, the Berwyn Eagles. King Schlack versus Toshiaki Sakuda for the Rust Belt Championship.
Oh yes, I was just seeing
that's probably
for that one.
That's top of my list right now of shows I'm excited for. Just to go back out to Chicago again.
Oh
After
yeah.
That, next week's fun. I'm making my debut down in North Carolina on the 13th. Nice. And then Bobby Banks, I'm coming for you, baby. And then the next day I'm back up here for Underground Wrestling Federation for their deathmatch tournament, the Uncivilized Cup at the Palace at the Palace in Philadelphia. And I'm excited for that because when I came back to wrestling last year, when I made the decision that I was done stepping away, I wanted to do this shit. The first ring that let me step in between the ropes the first people that let me take the chance and see if I still had it was UWF, run by my good friend Mike Devine, Mike Fatality, and his girl Kat, who I fucking love. She's such a great person and one of my good friends from when I was still a fan. They gave me an opportunity, and they were the first ring I've been in. I've been trying to get back into their ring and work with them for a while now. Both shows they had in July, I was booked elsewhere. So I told them I don't give a fuck what I have to move around. I'm coming back in August, and I'll see you for the cup. So I'm gonna use that as my ref-iversary, even though it's still on the 27th, I believe. But just being in their ring, I'm gonna use this is my ref-iversary, and look back at everything I've done in just 1 year.
Oh yeah, and hell, you've had a hell of a year. I
think by October I've had 9 or 10 states.
Nice. I got to check because the promotion that gave me my commentary debut, it's like the way I describe it, they're doing a lot of mental health awareness charity events. We call it Fight Against Suicide Wrestling, and I'm like,
I just became mutuals with them on Facebook. I saw their post, and I like what they're doing. I can absolutely get behind that.
Oh yeah, the next show for them is actually that one November 10th that I'm excited about because hell, anytime I get a call to action, I'm gonna have some fucking fun. But man, yeah, no, I was thinking, man, I got to pass along to them because they're doing stuff quarterly because figuring out the budget right away. He's like, I don't want to run monthly and then before you know it, I'm having to shut down.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta be smart about it.
I'm like, you know what? I've told him through my podcast, I've gotten to know people that I'm like, I can tell them, hey, you're looking for people. Let's figure out the budget. Let's get this to happen.
I can be like, hey, here's the thing. If you're free, you want to come do the thing?
Yeah. Hell, the thing that I've been heavily pitching because I've actually started to, after some hiccups at the first show that, I mean, if you weren't involved in the show, you probably wouldn't have really.
If you don't know what to look for, you're not going to be able to tell unless it's egregious.
Yeah.
About wrestling.
But so knowing about those, I offered, hey, if you want somebody to take some of the load off so you can concentrate, because I told him you have the logistics down. If you want somebody to help piece together matches and shit, give me a list of who's coming. I can pull together stuff like you wouldn't believe. And I've actually been heavily pitching because, Veterans Day, we got a handful of veterans on the card. I'm like, you're going to have a military themed show. You have to have a boot camp match. But then they're like, one of the things he was like trying to figure out, well, without much of a story. And I'm like
this is one of the few things that might not need a story for people to get to be behind it. This is thematic.
Oh yeah. And I told him, dude, I can come up with something. I can you just
give me an hour.
You just give. Hell, I just pitched one before we started recording. The history that one of the opponents, that they have against each other, the two people that I pitched. I'm like, there's some bad blood. So you have one person cut a promo saying, I want to get my hands on so-and-so so damn bad, I'll let him pick the damn stipulation.
Boom.
There you go. You got it. So I'm like, I can, oh God. Now that's got the motors running because like, good Lord, I can come up with ideas like that, like nothing. But anyways, before we go, remind everybody, where can they find you social media wise? So if they don't already have their eyes on you, they can go ahead and get them there because, all the great stuff that you're going to be up to for the rest of this year.
All right, so you can find me on Facebook, Jimmy Deacon. My Instagram and my Twitter, I'm not calling it X, are both the Jimmy Deacon. Discord, if we're friends, you want a game. I think it's also Jimmy. I'm not even joking when I do that eye roll. I think it's Jimmy Deacon. But that's not important. You find me on IWTV on places such as H2O, RPW, Sean Henderson Presents, Intergender Bonanza, Flophouse. It's crazy where you might see me. Coming up, you can find me at H2O tomorrow for Hustlemania. You can find me in North Carolina for Sean Henderson Presents, Philadelphia for UWF if you're in the area. Come out and see this Uncivilized Cup. September 21st, you'll see me debuting in New York for Saw Underground's debut show. October, H2O. We got Chattanooga. We got Extreme Brand Wrestling. November, we got H2O. And after that, until Mania, even I don't know where you're going to see me. But we're going to have some fucking fun one way or another.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that is about all I have. Thank you for stopping by for another round. I'll definitely be watching tomorrow, man. I'm excited.